Have you been wondering how soaring home prices are impacting the housing market? If so, you're like many of our viewers who often ask where things are heading. Elevated home prices have changed the look for a lot of the graphs that I've maintained over the past 30 years selling homes in Tallahassee. The second one in this video is a great example of the change that we're seeing in the market. Today's video report includes 3 graphs that show just how far home prices have risen as we move towards conditions where home affordability might become the greatest challenge the housing market has ever embraced. You should know the data for today's video comes from home sales in Tallahassee, but it likely applies to your market too. The agents that I communicate with from around the country are all reporting the same thing: soaring home prices and a lack of inventory of homes for sale. While the price ranges in my market might be lower or higher than those in your market, pay close attention to the overall trends as they represent what you would see for the distribution of home prices in your local housing market. This first graph shows the annual median home price over the past 18 years. Bear in mind, this report was produced on October 30th in 2021, so it's likely we'll see even more growth in 2021 when we look at these at the year end. The median home price has risen 65% over the past 10 years, an annualized rate of more than 5.1%. If this continues for another 10 years, the median home price in Tallahassee at this time in 2031 will be $465,000. For housing markets where the current median is already there, then you should expect to see it move to $765,000 over the next 10 years. How does the middle of the market afford homes at either of these prices? But following the median home price really doesn't give us a fair evaluation of property appreciation rates. Why? Because the median home price is more reflective of what buyers are spending. When mortgage interest rates drop, like now, people can spend more on a home without paying a higher monthly mortgage payment. The opposite is true when interest rates rise. It reduces the amount that buyers can spend on a home. Our subscribers know that it's best to track real estate appreciation through home value changes. It's something that I've mentioned in past videos. And by the way, if you're not a subscriber, please consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing now so that you get our future content when it is fresh. Tracking home values allows us to see what sellers are getting. In other words, home values report a more accurate appreciation level. When we run the numbers, home values have risen 5.9% annually, which far better represents the current average annual appreciation rate. This year, it'll be more than double that amount across the majority of U.S. housing markets, including Tallahassee. Take a look at how home sales are distributed by price. This graph shows the cumulative count starting at the bottom of the graph and moving to the top. I really like the image this graph creates as it shows that 52% of our sales remain below $200,000, yet we know it's nearly impossible to find a home at that price or below in most of Tallahassee. Nearly 90% of all homes sold were at prices below $400,000, yet we're seeing bidding wars in most of Tallahassee when a $400,000 home hits the market. Perhaps the biggest shocker is that we've seen 32 homes sell for more than $1 million this year, which means in the past 10 months, more than double the number of $1 million homes sold than in the 1990s decade. Here are some interesting statistics for 2021 when compared to 10 years ago. When we considered homes that sold for a price under $100,000, there were only 7% of home sales this year versus 29% 10 years ago. This is a pretty large change for a 10-year period of time. In 2011, nearly 1 of every 3 homes sold in Tallahassee was at a price under $100,000, whereas today only 1 out of every 14 homes sold was at a price below $100,000. This gives you an idea of how home affordability is eroding. When we expand the top of the range to $150,000, only 23% of home sales this year were at a price below $150,000 versus 49% 10 years ago. Similar to the last point, we've gone from half of the homes sold being below $150,000 to now fewer than a quarter of the homes sold falling below $150,000. This is a red flag alarm for home affordability. Finally, looking at the top end of the market at homes greater than $700,000, 3% sold this year were at a price above $700,000 versus 1% 10 years ago. Thanks to low mortgage interest rates, we're seeing more people buying homes that 10 years ago would put them in the top 1%. So putting some real numbers to this, 10 years ago, only 15 people purchased a home for more than $700,000. This year, through just 10 months of the year, that number has risen to 115. That's an increase of 667%. We know the market is robust and that buyers are competing for the few available homes for sale. But how do home sales this year stack up to previous years? This graph is used to rank 2021 against past years based upon the number of homes sold. A rank of 1 means the most homes were sold this year versus past years, whereas a rank of 18 means that 2021 was the worst of the past 18 years. The price points on the left vertical axis measure cumulative sales, starting at the highest price range and moving towards the lowest price home sold in Tallahassee. This means that it's best read from the bottom up and that each number on the left vertical axis includes all homes sold at that price and higher. For example, we see that homes that sold at prices above $1 million are ranked number 1 in 2021 when compared to all prior years. So too are all homes priced above $950. In fact, homes priced above $150 and higher are having the best year ever for home sales in Tallahassee. When we drop down to homes priced above $100,000, 2021 only ranks number 3. When we isolate homes under $100,000, it's the 14th best year of the past 18 years. But when we look at the entire market, 2021 ranks as the 3rd best year. So the takeaway from this ranking graph is that if you own a home worth more than $150,000 or $400,000 or $700,000 or even more than $1 million, it's the best year ever to sell within a predictable time frame while also receiving top dollar for the home. As I often do in my videos lately, I advise you to take advantage of these low mortgage interest rates until they are gone forever. If you don't want to move, refinance your home to either pull out cash or lower your payment. If you think you'll want to move in the foreseeable future, now is likely to be the most affordable time for the rest of your life. If you would like to see a recent video about current housing market conditions, you can view it by clicking on the box on the top left corner of your screen. If you'd like my 6 top tips for selling a home today, just click on the box below it. Please remember to like this video, check out the links below it, and subscribe to our channel so that you never miss anything.